Flyperbole, flip, flyperbole. Flyperbole, flip, flyperbole. Flyperbole, flip, flyperbole.
What's going on, party people? How we doing today? We doing good? We feeling good?
I didn't realize that we were on a JOI ASMR video.
Hey, big boys.
That's what you just did.
That's
basically.
not what I was going for, like a radio DJ thing, like a sexy radio DJ, and I guess that's not really a thing anymore. So
No.
ASMR.
No, it's not.
And I like that you could have just kept it. I was going to say family friendly, but is it truly family friendly?
No.
Probably not.
I mean,
But,
it's just an acronym. I didn't say
That's
anything.
true.
It's an
That's
acronym.
true. JOI could mean anything. It
Joy.
could mean anything.
Could be the word joy misspelled.
joy of ice cream.
I do love some joy
It's joy of ice cream.
of ice cream. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I'm a big-
if you want to
yeah.
get dirtier from there,
Yeah.
you sure
there's
can.
there's a lot of ways to get dirty.
It
from
is.
that.
It is funny because we never we plan like a little bit of the intro, not really. Like I plan like a topic, and I never know where it's gonna go. Mostly because I can never quite figure out how Ryan Quigley over here is gonna think. But in this case, I just decided spur of the moment I was going to do that voice. But before we were talking about ice cream because there's a lot of great ice cream in Philly.
There's some serious ice cream talk going on before the show, and it's going to continue now because listen, we have so for those who
It's
don't
the summer, baby.
it's the summer. The Flyers are everyone's at the cottage except for like the Leafs because they're out making trades. But
That's funny because also I had a conversation earlier today with somebody at the dentist's office that is going up to Canada this weekend and said they're going to the cottage. I think it's a cabin, but they all call it the cottage. And I'm
the
like,
cottage.
That's what they do. That's what the
Right.
Canadians do.
But for those who don't know, I live in the great kingdom of Fishtown. And
Oh, wow.
then Steve lives in the great kingdom of South Philly.
South Philly.
Yeah, I guess it's just South Philly.
There's no way you can possibly make it sound fancy. South Philly.
Yeah, there's no real I know that there's technically neighborhoods in South Philly, but it's all South Philly basically.
It's all South Philly. Like the only neighborhood, like you could say Passyunk is a neighborhood, and people can't even agree on how to pronounce that. Like my dad says it with an H. He says Passyunk.
Yeah.
Passyunk Avenue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I say that way.
Too. I always say I'm in the Bach area because I live by the Bach building. So if you're in Philly,
which
that
is
makes a lot
so
of sense.
sick that you live next to Bach, basically.
It's great. I just want to pop up. It's great. I want to get a sandwich. Miles Tables right there. I want to get A+ brownie. I go to Second Daughter. Oh, it's
What
great.
kind
Machine
of-
shop. It's fantastic.
What kind of ice cream do you have down in South Philly near you?
So most of that I have to walk to the Avenue for, but there are two killer places right now. Milk John has a location over by the Pope, the pub on Passyunk East, aka the Pope. And then there is a fantastic place, the other end over near Broad in Passyunk, that is called D'Amelio's Old World Ice Treats. That place rocks. I love that place.
I like that it's ice treats. For
Ice
some
treats.
reason, that's hilarious to me.
It's like one guy, okay? And it takes forever sometimes, but it's always worth it. And he's awesome. Like he's a super nice guy. So it's a one-man operation though. And I think it's killer.
I think what makes that so funny to me is it sounds like ice treats sounds like something that an alien disguised as a human from another planet would call their ice cream shop.
I like to consume ice treats.
I love ice treats. Yeah. To me, that doesn't sound like a human.
It doesn't quite, no.
So.
And so that's all the ice cream. And then occasionally, when you want a real treat, the John's Water Ice truck, John's Water Ice truck will come around. And man, we saw a movie up in Old City one day, and we were on a bus headed back, and we were going by Dickinson Square, and I said, "Yo, is that the John's truck?" And Emily's like, "It is the John's truck." I said, "We're getting off this bus." We got off the bus 4 blocks early to get John's. It made our walk in the humidity that much worse. But you know what? I had a mango water ice on the way back. I was much happier. But yeah, I don't know. I can't say what the best is, but this is like a truly an ice cream renaissance time in the city.
This is a great time because right around me, I have what is it?
Van Leeuwen.
Van Leeuwen. So I
Van
have
Leeuwen.
Van Leeuwen. I have One Night 100 ice cream, which is my personal favorite. Then there's
they're phenomenal.
Then there's Milk John, and then there's Jenny's, and that's everything that I'm just like on the top of my head. That's what I'm thinking of within like a quarter-mile radius of me. Like crazy, they're everywhere. So there's a lot of ice cream going on right now.
It's hot as hell outside too, so you need every bit of that ice cream.
It's true.
That's going on. It is absolutely horrible outside, and so I feel like we talked about something just now that involved just a butchering of the English language. And my dad lives in South Carolina now, and he hates the local news down there. He did not realize how spoiled we were in Philadelphia with the local news until he moved down to South Carolina. And he just is like, they're such idiots. There's just always weird stuff on there. And I hate it, but he's, in his 60s. So he watches local news still.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So he sent me a screenshot the other day, and I'm going to share my screen. If you follow me on Blue Sky, you've seen this already, but, this right here. So this was the headline the other day, and I'm going to zoom in here. It says few strong fuse at the top. And he's like, what the hell does few strong fuse mean?
Like few strong showers, but then it says heavy rain and storms remain. So it's like heavy rain and storms remaining doesn't sound like few. So I don't know what this entails. I don't know what's going on.
Whatever the fews are, there's only a few of them.
Yeah.
What the hell does that mean? I think my dad's got a point.
I will say, like, local news and smaller, like, I'm from Richmond, Virginia. We had like a few local news stations. I worked at one of them. They weren't very good.
That's one of the things that's actually like a pride of the Philadelphia area is like we actually get very good newscasters.
Really
here.
good.
Yeah, we have like a rich history of that. Not to brag, but I took broadcasting at Temple University, and we talked about that quite a bit when I went to old TU there. TU.
I feel like most major cities. Jesus Christ! What do we got?
A tornado.
Intermittent 911 ridge. Issues experiencing contacting 911 are asked to contact something else. Let me try. This
is awesome.
Let's do it. We're doing this live. Fuck it. So
this is a great hockey podcast so far. It doesn't get better than this.
Individuals experiencing issues contacting 911 are asked to contact their local 1-900 ice cream on their non-emergency lines. Crazy.
What is going on?
Crazy. That's a weird thing. I was hoping it was going to be something fun, like a tornado warning. But there's not a cloud. Fun. There's not a cloud in the sky.
You're just going to get your ice cream and flying off in the tornado.
I would be ready for that. That'd be a good time.
I mean, if you're going to go, you might as well go spinning in a tornado.
With ice cream.
With ice cream.
With ice cream in hand. Yeah.
It doesn't get better than that. It absolutely doesn't, folks. It doesn't get better than that. And you know what else doesn't get better? That damn Cam York contract that your Philadelphia Hockey Flyers just signed. And we were talking about this. We had some speculation about a Cam York contract recently. How long is it going to be? We were talking like 7-8 year contract right there, right? And we were like, oh, is it going to be in the 6 million to 7 million range? Is that too long for a little too much? I don't know. And then the actual contract came out this week, and I think we're all pretty happy with it.
It's very much so. Yeah. And it's funny because a couple weeks ago, you and I were talking quite passionately about Cam York. I'm not the biggest Cam York guy. This isn't to say I hate the guy, but I'm not his biggest fan. I feel like he still has so much to prove, I think.
You don't like yamming that cork.
I am not a fan of yamming the cork. I need some more. I need to be shown a little bit more by Cam York. And
you got to wine and dine Ryan Quigley, Cam York.
I'm just not sold yet by Cam. And so I was nervous about that contract, and I really did think it was going to be like much longer term, much longer or much higher AAV. Dude, 5 years, 5 mil, basically.
So yeah,
incredible. That's an amazing value deal. And like, listen,
official term is 5 years, 25.75 million, a 5.15 AAV cap hit. So that's great. Like that's less than Risto, right?
Yeah. And dude, the thing is like at absolute worst, Cam York is a really good third pair defenseman.
Right. And
that's
I think
he's worst.
Like he's being used as a first pair defenseman right now,
which he should.
I think ideally he should be second pair. I don't think I see very few teams where he's like a third pair guy.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the universe where the Flyers have just hit on every draft pick. Like our amigo over there and Oliver Bonk both hit, right? Are like top pair guys in that universe, which I would love. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But,
right.
You know, like York is really, really solid. I think we don't know what his upside is. I think my biggest concern with York personally was everything he got into with John Tortorella last season.
Like the maturity.
It sounded like some nasty business. It sounded like a maturity issue. And we know Torts can be an asshole. You know, like Torts is like, we used to talk about Big Al and the Ass Crew, right? Where it was Alain Vigneault and Michel Therrien and Mike Yeo. And those guys, like, they could be pretty harsh, right? But John Tortorella also could be pretty friggin' harsh. But I think Torts is like the GOAT, right? Of being a jerk. But he also had this like soft side we saw, like blah, blah, blah. We saw every angle to Torts possible. Yeah. But something happened at the end of last season that Cam York had enough. He couldn't take any more. And he went off. And whatever that incident was, that was like one of the final straws that broke the camel's back in the Flyers firing John Tortorella, because the Flyers didn't want to fire him at that point. They just wanted to ride out the season and tank, baby, tank. And they were tanking real bad at that time and get where they got.
Yeah. And it sounded, from all the, rumors, it does sound like Torts kind of instigated that entire situation. So
yeah. He clearly did not like Cam York, right? Like, he had, there was a period where we thought maybe his tough love worked out for the better, because
for some players it did.
For some players it did. Travis Konechny, for instance.
Yeah.
And York, it seemed like he did, but then it reverted back, and I think he just had too much of him. And look, I guess the Flyers, between the fact that they signed him to this contract, but they also have like two of his best friends on the team already, right?
Oh.
Like they are in on the Cam York experience right now. So Jamie Drysdale and newest Flyer, Trevor Zegras, which still feels like
I still can't believe that. That like, really is crazy that he's a Flyer. Yeah.
Our buddy Ryan Gilbert on Blue Sky yesterday, like posted like something about Trevor Zegras. Like the Flyers got Trevor Zegras for nothing. It's unbelievable. I also on Instagram, I saw like a Ducks blog posted a grade for that trade, and it was an F. And it made me laugh quite a bit.
It's crazy. It is funny how, like I'm still living in a world where it's just like, oh fuck yeah, like Trevor Zegras is a Flyer now. But to go back to the whole like Cam York attitude thing, like I do wonder if he has like that dog in him. I do wonder if that is part of who he is. But I will say, let's pretend maturity is an issue with him, because he did get into it with Torts. If he were to try that with Rick Tocchet, you can't. Because Rick Tocchet is also a tough guy. Like he's a tough coach. He's
more of a player's coach than Tortsy.
He's
but
certainly,
like,
yeah.
He definitely like look at Elias Pettersson. Like he's not gonna just give you a free ride.
Right. Yeah. It's like he's gonna challenge you.
This ain't John Stevens, all right. He's not gonna bake you a cake.
Exactly. No, he's going to challenge you. And Cam York better be ready to answer that bell. And if he thinks that he can, mouth off to Tocchet will kick his ass. Tocchet doesn't give a shit. Like that's who Tocchet is. Like
that's when you get the rocket coming out of Tocchet right there.
Yeah, no, you get like that would be a situation. And now I don't think we're ever going to come to that, honestly, because I feel like Rick Tocchet is a good enough players coach to where it's like the players will, for the most part, all respect him. And I think the way that he coaches and the way that I understand he coaches, I feel like it is conducive to getting players like Cam York to be like, oh, fuck yeah, I forgot what it was like to have fun playing hockey again. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'd like that because that was not some fun hockey last season. That was not at all. And I'm looking right now at Cam York's numbers, and it's interesting. So in 21-22, he had 10 points in 30 games. 22-23, he had 20 points in 54 games. 23-24, we really thought this is a breakthrough guy. He is a legit top 4 defenseman on this team. Mm-hmm. He had 30 points in 82 games. It really felt like the upward trajectory was happening. And then last season, he fell back. He had 17 points in 66 games. Those problems with Torts, it felt like a step back in a number of ways. And he just wasn't noticeable. Like, even Jamie Drysdale, who there's a lot of issues with his defensive game, and he doesn't produce the offense you want him to, given his skills, given what he actually can do with the puck. Jamie Drysdale was more noticeable though when he did something. Like Jamie Drysdale would do like incredible things every now and then. Right. Whereas York, I don't really remember much of what he did last season beyond getting John Tortorella's face at some point in Toronto.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like it was a very unspectacular year for Cam York. And like there was regression clearly. And because the year before, like you said, like he had a pretty solid year. And then last year it just got weird. And I do think a lot of that had to do with Torts, of course, obviously. But this is a huge year for Cam York. And now granted, he's got the contract. Like the contract is signed. He's locked in for 5 years. Like, a lot of players, their big year is their contract year. I think this upcoming season is a really big season for Cam York because he needs to prove like, hey, what I was last season, that was a weird situation. I'm in a better situation now. Look at what I am under the right coach. Assuming that Tocchet is the right coach, but I think he has a lot to prove coming into this season, despite having secured the contract. He's got a chip on his shoulder, or at least he should have a chip on his shoulder.
It's going to be a fascinating season for the Flyers depth chart wise, because you do have kids on the way that are looking for a role. And you also have in-betweeners like Emile Andre, right? Like Emile Andre is trying to carve out a place on this team. You got to figure out what the hell you're doing with Rasmus Ristolainen on this team, right? Like, but they have a fascinating depth chart right now. Like if we're thinking about it right now, you probably have Sanheim York as your top pairing, but who knows if that's what Tocchet wants to go with, because training camp's going to be really fascinating in that regard. And then you probably have like Drysdale and like Sealer and maybe Risto and Zamula, but then you've got Andre knocking on the door. I think Bonk is supposed to be with the Phantoms this year. And Bonk is a guy that I'm sure the franchise wants to see sooner rather than later playing some games with the Philadelphia Flyers. So all of a sudden you look around and like, you got some competition in there, and you don't want to be the guy to sink to the bottom of that. Granted, we all do think Risto's like, he's here, but for how much longer? It's pretty much, what's that contract at? Does he have 2 years left or at this point?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the hell just happened to me. I think my Wi-Fi just went out and now it's back. And
okay.
Then it went out. And this is really weird. I don't know what's happening. I think I'm good because I'm using my phone.
The Matrix is getting Ryan Quigley, folks.
Not great. But I agree with everything you just said, Steve, in despite having heard none of it.
I was talking about the depth chart, and, it's going to be interesting to see who ends up where. But at this point, like Risto's like, I don't know. Risto just feels like an inevitability until he's off this team, be it through trade or when his contract finally ends. That will never end. What are we at? No, I pulled it up. Risto's got 2 years left. He's got this season.
It's not bad. It's
at 5.1. So Cam York's making slightly more than Rasmus Ristolainen, actually.
I think I really do think Risto is tradable still, despite the injury situation. I do think like it's possible that they could move him.
Yeah.
They're
And you
just not
don't
going to get
really-
what they would have.
And the thing is, you don't need to move him unless somebody impresses you that much at the bottom to push their way in.
Right.
And namely, the guys I'm thinking about there are Bonk and Andre.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. Like the young guys need to come in and be like, hey, dude, this is my job now. I'm the captain now. And then they kick him off the team, basically. But they need to prove that first. And like, I'll be honest, man, I'm just not like totally like, I don't know if Bonk's ready yet. I don't know.
No,
like,
I think he needs a season with the Phantoms.
Yeah, I think.
But like, I think in this situation, I just felt the need to clean my camera while I was doing this. But I think in this situation, like maybe he impresses so much that they feel like they can get him into the lineup now. And in order to do that, you kind of need to move somebody out. And Risto's the clear guy to move out in that scenario.
Yeah. Well, and that brings up an interesting kind of topic. Like, are there any prospects who you think could make the team? Like, could it be Bonk? I don't think it'll be Bonk, but could it be?
Oh, I think they're all offensive because I think the defense is set, right? Like it really feels like they have a set defense and they signed a couple of those warm bodies to kind of sit in the press box and eat the Flyer shaped pretzels. But offensive, I think this is a fascinating camp right now. So I think the obvious guy after prospect camp has to be, and I'm pulling up my notes here, but I think the obvious guy at prospect camp has to be Alex Pump.
We've been hearing all about him for a long time now. The Flyers have been gassing him up real hard. And
he was fun with the Phantoms in the playoffs. Like he was talking shit already on the Hershey Bears. It was fantastic. Or no, was it the Bears or was it the
no, it was the Penguins.
It was the Muscle Penguins. Yeah.
Yeah, he called them soft defense.
He called them soft. It was awesome.
He called them soft. That's amazing. And
but so, he apparently was in prospect camp like a bat out of hell. Like he was just dominating from what I heard.
Which he should, because like it's not like this is his first dev camp. Like he should be, he should have a leg up on some of these other kids. But like the thing with Bump is that like we've seen him excel at college. We've seen him excel in the AHL. And now it's like, okay, well, the only logical next step, the only possible next step is the NHL. And so I think and we talked about also in the Flyers war room during the draft, they had all these like Flyers players on the wall. Alex Bump was on there. And it's just like, they are clearly really, really, really high on this kid. And it just seems
but wasn't Kaplan up there too?
I don't know.
I think Kaplan was up there.
Was
too.
he up there? Okay,
yeah.
Well, that completely negates what I was about to say.
I think people were reading too much into that because I think they were just trying to put recent draft picks up there.
Right. But regardless,
they like this kid.
They're very high on him. Like there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
So
I think there's just so many exciting opportunities for this team, especially I think one of the biggest indicators that they feel confident in either Bump or, I don't know, maybe their top draft pick from this past year making the team outright is the fact that they didn't keep Pelletier on. I think if Pelletier's in there, it's a different depth chart. It's you're looking at a completely different team because Pelletier's taking up a spot and he's going to make the team. Like he doesn't blow me away, but that's the guy who can play at the NHL level in the bottom six. Like he definitely is. The Flyers, that's like a real, like, we want to open up a spot for one of these kids to make it. That was what they declared when they didn't bring him back. And they've done so many moves, like in a fascinating viewpoint from that, where Briere, in the trade to get Pelletier in the first place, trades away Frost and Farabee, which opens up spots for younger guys. So right now, let me look at the Flyers depth chart and see quite where we're at as far as the lines go. But I miss, man, this is where I really, really miss our old friends at Cap Friendly because Puckpedia is doing a pretty good job. I will say they're
getting better. Yeah.
They're getting better. But man, Cap Friendly, you could just click on that lineup button for the GM and it was great. And now I have to back, and they did introduce a GM feature, but whatever. I have to go to Daily Faceoff right now, which I'm not happy about, but I'm there. But we're looking right now. So Zegras kind of makes a complete, I keep forgetting about Dvorak, but I don't know. Delorier is a clear scratch on that fourth line.
Yeah.
I don't care about these warm bodies that they signed for the bottom of it. I don't think Rodrigo Abols, as much as he's a competent, cromulent fourth line center, I don't think he's got a scratched in roster spot either. You're not writing that in pen. You're writing him in pencil in there. Okay.
Right.
That's two spots that can be won by young guys as far as I'm concerned. And I think you have a fascinating battle with, you've got Bump in the mix right there. I think Jet Luchenko certainly got a chance.
Yes.
I would imagine he's probably going back. It's a shame that he can't go to the Phantoms. If Jet Luchenko could go to the Phantoms, I would be advocating for him to go to the Phantoms easily because I think that's where he should be. But I kind of feel like he's getting wasted with his juniors team. You know, I just don't feel like that's the right place for him right now. But what are you going to do? But he does have a chance. I know Torts loved him. I'm sure Tockett's going to love him because he's just got a great attitude. He's got a good sense for the game. But you've got that spot, right? So you've got the Delorier and a bowl spot. So you've got Bump. Martone could make it. I don't think he's going to, but he's impressed people already, and he's a big boy. So there's always the chance that they might want to get him up there now because you've got that makes your depth so much better all of a sudden if you can get guys like that in there. Also, I'm more than happy to have Christian Dvorak as the fourth line center. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine by me. All right. Put Jet at 3C and put Christian at 4. That's cool. No problem.
Yeah. And, also in terms of like bottom six center, obviously there's Noah Cates, but he does have that versatility where he can play wing. Like centers, you can just put them to wing. Like if you think like, if there's someone who's better at face-offs, then you can just like move Cates to wing and he'll be fine. Like he's going to be basically the same player. But yeah, like I think what throws a wrench in everything is the Forster injury, obviously. Like that really kind of screwed things up a little bit. But
I keep forgetting that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget about Christian Dvorak and the Forster injury. But yeah. So Forrester right now, the word is that he will be missing the start of the season, most likely. But I guess the problem is the ambiguity because we don't have like a set date of when he's coming back.
Which I hate.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Well, and my biggest thing with Forrester is he's a slow starter historically, based on his 2 seasons. Like he started slow. And I'm hoping that starting later doesn't mean his slow start is going to like drag out even more.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I have no idea. Like there's still so much, like it's very mercurial, his situation. So,
mercurial. There we go.
You do have to go into the season expecting him to not be playing. And if that's the case, then I think you do have to look at, honestly, I think Alex Bump's making the team regardless. I really do.
I feel like he is. Like he blew some guys away, and I think like he's just got such a great Flyers attitude. He's got that chip on his shoulder. I think he brings, not only does he have like a good like work ethic Flyers attitude, I think he brings a cockiness that this team is lacking.
I love it.
And could use a big dose of. I think Mishkov brought a huge chunk of that last year. Mishkov got swag. We've talked about Matvei Mishkov. We adore Matvei Mishkov. He's the shot in the arm. He's a dog. And I think Alex Bump's a dog too. And
that's the thing.
I think I like these guys with chips on their shoulder that bring this attitude. And I think this team, look, I loved Claude Giroux and I thought that team had a lot of talent, but you didn't have a lot of guys with like chips on their shoulders, like kind of like jerks getting in their face, right? Like Claude Giroux was a humble guy. Like he could play with some fire, but he wasn't. I think you maybe shit talk a little bit more like on the ice, not really off, but like these guys will shit talk you anywhere. And it just feels like they're kind of coming in with a little bit more attitude with some of these younger guys coming in. And between having the smaller guys with attitude and now getting those big bodies in this last draft to kind of back all of them up and then ultimately protect Connor McDavid, what? I think that's, you have a very interesting mix formulating for your Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah. So I want the Flyers to up their dogs per 60 metric because like when you look at the Florida Panthers, right? And I'm not saying, that the Flyers need to go get a Sam Bennett, but like you look at the amount of dogs that they have on that team. Sam Bennett is a dog. Brad Marchand is a dog. You know, Sam Reinhart. Like they have so many guys who just they don't give a shit. Like they can just take over a game and they can just be like, no, I'm going to score right now. I don't care what you do or say. Like I'm going to.
And that lets Barkov just do his thing. Is having all those guys. So like Barkov, despite being clearly the most important guy on that team to insiders for hockey, doesn't have to necessarily be the most important guy on that team as far as like, I guess the energy level and stuff. Like that was one of the things with Claude is like they never quite had a guy to kind of take some of that heat off Claude and be a badass. Like that was, it's a 2010 team, right? Last Flyers Stanley Cup final team.
Yeah.
That team had guys like Mike Richards, right? Who would friggin' annihilate you despite not being the biggest guy in the world. He would annihilate Chris Pronger, the ultimate dog in the game of hockey.
Yeah.
You know, guys like that are so vital. And that's why I like the Amigo pick, because like you've got guys that can like destroy your body, right? So I think you're getting guys who can both talk trash and bring swagger and confidence and cockiness. And you've also got guys who can just beat the shit out of you, and that aren't slow at the same time. So I think you're building a really strong mix right now, and I'm really digging it.
Yeah, yeah. Like right now, you have Mishkov, you have Konechny. Those are two guys who just are yapping, and they're both really fucking good. And then who knows what Alex Bump could be, but he's a yapper. He loves to talk shit. He's got an ego. He's cocky. He's a cocky asshole. Like fuck yeah, sign me up for that. Get more of that on the Flyers. That's good. So yeah, I don't know. It's exciting. This is going to be a really interesting training camp because. You know, obviously people are going to be looking at Martone. People are going to be looking at Jet Lachenko. People are going to be looking at Alex Bump. To me, those are the three guys who are like, okay, pin that guy on your watch, list or whatever, because they are the ones who I think have the best chance at making it. And it's exciting.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there. I really think the defense is mostly set. I think the goaltenders are set at this point with, Erson and Vladar. What was the thing about Vladar earlier that there was some sort of Voracek connection there?
Yeah, apparently Jake Voracek. He used to work out with Jake Voracek, and Voracek told him like, "Dude, Philly fucking rocks. Like, you're gonna love Philly." He like basically, yeah. So Voracek did.
It's funny because I'm not excited about Vladar, but like,
right,
I just like Jake Voracek, like, because here's the thing: if anybody could have been like pissed off at us and hated our guts, it would be Jake Voracek. Mr. Are you shitting me, Charlie? Like Mr. Fucking Weasels.
Yeah, the Weasel, right? I remember. I forgot about the Are you shitting me, Charlie? Yeah.
I think about Are you shitting me all the time. It's so good.
It's amazing.
I'm sure Charlie hasn't forgotten it, but it's like Voracek, like if you would think if one guy could be bitter about his time here, it'd be maybe Jake Voracek, because he had a contentious time with the fans and everything. And if he says it fucking rocks, then like I feel pretty damn good about, a lot of things. And I always liked Jake Voracek. I liked how surly he was. And it was a bummer that he didn't have a better, or at least a preference for shooting, right? A bias for action as far as shooting goes. But he was a great hockey player. Like a really, watching his passing skills were fantastic. He really could he scored a lot of points for this team. Jake Voracek was a really good flyer, and I love him pumping up this team to Vladar. The other thing I read was that Kim Dillabaugh was going to go overseas to train with Vladar, which I think is really cool.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the source on that one. I was not good with my sourcing this week. So, sorry, not sorry on that front. But
what's good, what I like though, is that so there was clearly that connection between Dillabaugh and Vladar. And also one thing I liked that Vladar said during his media availability was how he was like, yeah, man, I wasn't getting the role that I wanted in Calgary. And he really, every goalie wants to play more, right? But they want to play every game that they can. But Vladar seems to really be like, give me those games. I want to be in it just seems like he's really, I don't know, kind of taking it upon himself to improve, and just it feels like he has I think he thinks he has something to prove, which
Yeah.
I like. I like that a lot.
I do. I talk about chip on the shoulder. You know, I like a guy with something to prove. It was the man, the myth, the legend himself, Charlie O'Connor, Mr. Are You Shitting Me, who had that news. Vladar said that Flyers goalie coach Kim Dillabaugh is actually coming out to Prague to visit him in a couple weeks to get a head start on building their relationship.
There we go. I love that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Dilly leaving Philly. How about that? So, wow. I like that. Oh, wow. How about it? Listen, it was right there. I can't do it. Philly. But yeah, this is going to be a fascinating team. It's going to be a lot of fun this summer. And we're keeping this one a little short. So I got two things I want to get to before we call the day here. But we're going to have a lot more discussion on this roster buildup because camp is going to be here before you know it. So I am pumped for that. Let's talk briefly about the new CBA. So the league got ahead of CBA, got ahead of any potential lockout talk. I think 14 months early, they got it out of the way. And for the most part, good stuff. I'm glad we're not going to be talking about a friggin' lockout because lockouts suck. Awesome. It seemed like the Players Association didn't quite get as much as they probably could have. The NHLPA kind of has a track record of. I just found this quote hilarious from The Athletic where an anonymous veteran defenseman said, "What can we do? There can't be another lockout. Those don't go our way. It's better to get it done." It's the most defeatist shit I've ever heard.
Yeah. I don't know. But
I don't know.
I will say I do like this CBA. The only thing that I really just don't totally why are we going to 84 games?
That's the biggest thing. So
it's not a huge deal, but
so 84 game season. I will say the nice thing is they are shortening the preseason for that. So at least they're doing that because preseason sucks. Nobody likes preseason hockey. No, nobody likes preseason in any sports. The only decent preseason is baseball spring training. And that's because you can throw that on in the background while you're mowing the lawn and shit. Right. That's pretty much it. Yeah. And people go down and get day drunk, which is awesome.
Yeah. So great.
They got that going for them, which I got to do one of these years. I've never been down to Philly spring training, but 4-year deal through 2030, 84 game regular season with a shortened preseason, shortened max term contracts capped at 7 years for a player re-signing with his club, 6 years if they sign with another team, permanent emergency backup goaltenders for teams, which thank God, I don't know why that wasn't already a thing. That's ridiculous.
Right.
Changes to I know the only guy who's not going to be happy about that is the Carolina Hurricanes owner, Dundon, because he's cheap as shit. I got to pay another salary. Healthcare. Changes to long-term injured reserve rules that include a postseason salary cap on the total salaries of the active players in any given games. Elimination of player dress codes on game days. I know the boys were happy about that one.
Yeah, dude, I love that. Why are we doing that? Why, that pisses me off so much. You have to come into the rink wearing some sort of certain suit or something like that. Dude, let the players have personalities. Let them come in. Look at the NBA and look at the NFL. It's a fashion show when they show up to the field or the court or whatever it is. The WNBA, that's become a huge thing for them where it's player arrivals. It's literally a fashion statement. And I love that now soon enough, NHL players are going to be able to do the same thing. It's
white t-shirts and jeans for everybody.
Sure. Do it. Just dress, show literally any personality. Even if it's a white t-shirt and ripped jeans, cool. I don't care. They're all coming in. I just remember a couple of years ago when it was the bubble, the COVID bubble. The fucking Minnesota Wild, they made the team have this dress code and they came in all wearing khakis and these Minnesota Wild collared shirts. I was like, this is the lamest fucking franchise in sports. The Minnesota Wild are so fucking boring. It drives me crazy. And I just love that new change in the CBA spits in the face of that, ever happening again. I can't stand that.
Boring ass franchise. Trade us Marco Rossi for nothing. Standardization of draft rights expiring when players 22. Increasing minimum NHL salaries, which is cool. I think it's a million now is the minimum.
Yes. Yeah. $1 million is the minimum, which is good. Inflation.
It is good. Elimination of deferred payments in contracts. Extension of NHL's commitment to Olympic participation through 2030. That a lot too. That a lot. So yeah, mostly good stuff, to be honest. I don't agree with increasing the number of games, but it's not a huge deal.
Did you see the? I saw something else that apparently there's talk about allowing 19-year-olds to play in the AHL.
I saw that too. I really want that bad, especially for
Jet
the
Lachenko.
Flyers. Yeah,
Yeah, like he would be the kind of guy who would go right to the AHL right now.
Jet needs to be on the AHL, especially now that's not Ian LaPerriere anymore. Okay, now that we have an actual like coach in there, let's do it.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
I like the CBA right now. I really do. It's some good changes. I still think they should implement a rule where if you take a penalty with less than 2 minutes remaining in the game, then the game is extended to allow the team with the power play to have the full power play. That's my rule that I would implement.
Yeah, I want the jailbreak from the PWHL. Yeah, I want the jailbreak.
I think that'd be fun.
Jailbreak be awesome. Yeah, so I'm just glad there's not going to be a lockout anytime soon. I hate lockouts. It's the worst. Yeah. We've seen too many of them. I think 3 in my lifetime. It's crazy.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Final thing, and we're going to head on out of here. They had a little Instagram reel the other day where the prospects, they were asking them what their favorite TV show was. And I swear to God, 3/4 of these guys said Suits.
I've never seen Suits. I don't know.
I've never seen Suits either. It seems to be about guys in suits making deals and Meghan Markle. That's all I know.
I know nothing about. All I like. So 2 players said Breaking Bad. I think so. That's my. I think
2 said Breaking Bad. Wayne Simmons said The Wire.
That's a
great,
real one. Yeah, that's a real show. Like a great choice. But he's also not like one of these.
He's not 19 years
children.
old.
Yeah, he's like he's like a man.
He's between our ages, I believe.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
I believe that's exactly what he is.
But that's a great selection. I think I heard a couple Sopranos in there, which I respect.
Yeah, there were a couple Sopranos. Yeah.
Someone said
somebody said Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, did that?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did someone say like Bob's Burgers or something?
Somebody said Bob's Burgers, which is a good choice. There was somebody who said Trailer Park Boys, which I've never quite gotten into, but people love Trailer Park Boys. And but the number one answer by far was Suits, which is okay. Apparently it was huge a couple years ago on Netflix. It was very easy to watch. I read this Guardian piece about it. The other one that came up, which I found fascinating because Scott Lawton brought this up a few months ago, was Prison Break, which we talked about on this show, because I am obsessed with that answer because Prison Break's a weird show. It's the thinnest premise for an ongoing series I've ever heard, which, just to recap, it's about a guy breaking his brother out of prison by getting arrested and going into the prison with the blueprints to the prison tattooed on his body.
There are much better ways to get someone out of prison.
Sure. It'd be fine as a movie. That's a movie.
Oh, plot. Yeah. That is a movie plot. That is not a
TV show.
That's ridiculous.
Why are NHL guys into Prison Break? I need to understand this. And as somebody who loves pop culture and loves TV, I am starting my own little summer project that I will be updating throughout the summer on Flyperbole with regular segments where I am going to be watching episodes from both of these shows. I don't know how far into this I'm going to make it. I don't know how much, but I'm going to try it for science. So starting next week. Yes, for science, of course. It's all for science. So starting next week, I will have watched at least an episode or 2 of Suits and or Prison Break, and I will be reporting in regularly. So this will be a regular summer podcast project that I'm very excited for. I also have another thing that I want to in the works for summer podcast, but I'm not going to announce that today. Maybe next time. But I do love summer Flyperbole, so I'm here for it. But we're going to head on out of here. Oh, wow. How about that? But all right. If you have any feedback for us, the best place is unfortunately social media. Best place you can follow me is Blue Sky. You can follow me at Flyperbole and at Esteban. So if it's for hockey purposes, make it Flyperbole. It's Flyperbole on TikTok and Flyperbole on Instagram as well. Quigs, where can people find you on the socials?
Oh, you can find me at Ryan Quigs with a Z. That's where you can find me.
Oh, wow. How about that? Well, you can find me, who apparently looks like Jesus, according to Bernie Perrant. We haven't talked about that on the show, and I still find that very funny. At the draft party,
twinning.
Bernie Perrant looks at me and he goes, "He looks like Jesus." And I'm like,
obviously.
obviously fat Jesus over here. Cool. Which is the opposite of Jesus because he notoriously didn't eat a lot. But how about
And
that?
then he,
Cool
and then he
beans.
starved on the cross, starved to death with his limbs
I
nailed
don't think
down.
this is not the note to end this on. Suits and Prison Break, folks. Suits and Prison Break and ice cream. How about that?
with
All right.
with a thorned halo hat.
It's Ryan Quigs with a Z. It's Flyperbole over on the socials. Follow us there. For all of Broad Street Hockey, it's on YouTube. Like, hey, and subscribe and rate and all that fun stuff. We love you all. And until next time, in the words of the great Gene Hart, good night and good hockey.
Go Birds.
Wow, 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 wow.